What if I told you that a boy with no wealth, no privileged background, and no powerful connections would one day rise to become the most influential, powerful, and wealthiest politician in Nigeria? This is the story of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a man who turned ambition into reality, a strategist who played the long game, and a leader whose name now echoes through the corridors of power. Humble beginnings. Bola Ahmed Tinubu was born on March 29, 1952, in Lagos, Nigeria. His early life was far from glamorous. He didn't inherit riches or a political dynasty, but what he did have was a relentless drive to succeed. As a young boy, he dreamed beyond the narrow streets of Lagos, yearning for something greater. Determined to make something of himself, Tinubu left Nigeria for the United States, where he attended Richard J. Daley College before transferring to Chicago State University. It was there that he studied accounting, a field that would later become the foundation of his financial empire. But his journey was not easy. He worked odd jobs, including as a taxi driver, just to survive. Stepping into the political arena returning to Nigeria, in the 1980s, Tinubu joined Mobil Oil Nigeria, where he quickly rose through the ranks. But deep down, he knew his ambitions stretched beyond the boardroom. He wanted to be at the heart of Nigeria's decision-making. In 1992, he took his first bold step into politics, contesting and winning a seat as a senator representing Lagos West under the Social Democratic Party, SDP. His sharp mind and strategic thinking made him a rising star, but his political career was cut short when the military, led by General Sani Abacha, seized power. As democracy crumbled, Tinubu refused to be silent. He joined NADECO, National Democratic Coalition, a pro-democracy movement that fought against military rule. His activism made him a target, forcing him into exile. But even from afar, he remained deeply involved in Nigeria's struggle for democracy. The governor who changed Lagos. In 1999, when democracy was finally restored, Tinubu returned home and ran for governor of Lagos State under the Alliance for Democracy, AD. He won. Lagos at the time was chaotic, overcrowded, underdeveloped, and financially struggling. But Tinubu had a vision. During his 8 years as governor, 1999 to 2007, he transformed the state. He improved infrastructure, building roads and bridges. He boosted Lagos's revenue, turning it from a state dependent on federal allocations to one generating billions in internally generated revenue, IGR. He strengthened education, healthcare, and security. But perhaps his greatest achievement was not in policies, it was in political structure. Tinubu built a network so strong that even after he left office, he remained the undisputed godfather of Lagos politics. Building a political empire. Leaving the governorship was not the end of Tinubu's influence, it was just the beginning. He expanded his reach beyond Lagos, establishing himself as a kingmaker in Nigerian politics. He controlled the Action Congress, AC, which later became the Action Congress of Nigeria, ACN. He installed governors, senators, and political allies across the Southwest. He challenged the dominance of the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP. But Tinubu was not just thinking about the Southwest. He had his eyes on the entire country. The mastermind behind APC. In 2013, Tinubu made his most strategic move yet. He orchestrated the merger of opposition parties to form the All Progressives Congress, APC, a powerful force that would challenge the PDP's long-standing rule. 2 years later, in 2015, his efforts paid off. Muhammadu Buhari, backed by Tinubu's political machine, defeated Goodluck Jonathan, marking the first time an opposition party unseated an incumbent president in Nigeria's history. With APC in power, Tinubu became even more influential, pulling the strings from behind the scenes. The source of his wealth. By now, Tinubu was not just powerful, he was immensely wealthy. While the exact sources of his fortune remain debated, he is believed to have vast investments in real estate, owning prime properties across Lagos, media, controlling TVC and the Nation newspaper, tax consulting through Alpha Beta, which reportedly collects Lagos State's taxes, oil and transportation sectors. His ability to blend politics with business made him one of the richest figures in Nigeria's political space. Emi Loken, the presidential dream. For years, Tinubu was content with being the kingmaker, but in 2022 he decided it was his time to rule. Standing before a crowd, he declared, "Emi Loken, it's my turn," signaling his long-awaited presidential ambition. The race was fierce, with many doubting his ability to win, but Tinubu had spent decades preparing for this moment. In 2023, after a controversial and heavily contested election, Tinubu was declared President of Nigeria, completing his journey from a boy with nothing to the most powerful man in the country. The legacy of Bola Ahmed. Tinubu's story is one of strategy, resilience, and political brilliance. He did not come from a wealthy family. He was not handed power. He built it, one calculated move at a time. He fought for democracy when it was dangerous to do so. He transformed Lagos into Nigeria's economic powerhouse. He built a political empire that shaped national elections. He outplayed rivals and became Nigeria's president. His journey was not without controversy, but love him or hate him, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a name that will never be forgotten in Nigerian politics.